It's not another Buffalo podcast, hosted by three of the most underqualified sports personalities this side of the canal. With John.
There's no way in hell that I can leave that in, right?
You don't think so?
Well, to quote Rage Against the Machine, what better place than here? And, what better time than now?
And Brando.
We have this trust built on, whatever it is, like Bibles and gold bricks and whatever Brandon Bean's drinking over there.
All right, welcome back to Not Another Buffalo Podcast. I'm John. I'm here with my buddies Pat and Brando. We're putting on a lot of episodes this week, so this is good. This is it's exciting time.
It is exciting times, man. Exciting times. Yes.
You can find us on all platforms at Not Buff Podcast. We'll be putting out tons of clips this week if you haven't seen them already. Just want to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Small City Realty, for sponsoring this episode and all of our episodes. If you're looking to buy, sell, or manage property in Western New York, call our guy Zach Korzelius at 585-409-1088 or contact him at Zachary at smallcityrealestate.com. I'll have all those links in the show notes for you guys if you're looking for a house in Western New York, if you're looking to sell your house in Western New York, or if you're one of those Western New Yorkers who's got like two houses, you want to rent one as an Airbnb, they can manage your property for you. So 585-409-1088, and a big thank you as always to Zach for sponsoring the show. Mm-hmm. So boys, we are 24 hours closer than we were last time we talked. Still feels super far away. But how are we doing? How are the vibes?
Yeah, I'm excited. I've just put on Bills content all day long today. Another snow day, thankfully, for the Buffalo Snow Wizard of Lake Erie to dump stuff on us here before the lake freezes over and let me really dive into this game this week, not having to be at school. It's been nice.
I definitely feel you on the excitement level, though. For the first time in a long time, I don't know, I was just laying in bed thinking about how crazy it would be if, I don't know, I would, be able to share it with him to say, you were born on it was a couple days before the start of the season. And that your first, 4 or 5 months, were the most significant 4 or 5 months in the history of Buffalo Bills football.
Right.
That's and then you'd be like, screw you, Luca. You got it so good. The very first year you come into this world, you got the Bills too. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I was thinking about that too, Pat. Actually, something that crossed my mind. I don't want to jinx us or anything like that, but Brandon and I and Pat, we were kind of talking about this too. What do we do if they make it? How are we watching this game? Are we getting together? What's the logistics of how many people are going to be there? How are we going to get together? Do we need to rent a venue? Are we going to do this at somebody's house? All that good stuff. And a thought that I had to come to mind after that was you always kind of think of these moments as how are we going to remember them 10 years from now? Because it feels that big when you're talking about all this stuff. And I was for a second, I was Pat, you might be telling a 10-year-old Luca who's a mega Bills fan, hey, you met Uncle John for the first time the day the Bills won the effing Super Bowl for the first time in their franchise history. Yeah. Right? It was so.
My dad always tells me this story. He was I was born in November of 95 and Kelly hangs him up the next year. But he was you watched Jim Kelly, Brandon. I put you in front of the TV in your little rocker during a Bills game for Jim Kelly's career. So he's you can say that you witnessed him just so you know, I did that for you.
As I'm sure we all did in some form or fashion, knowing our families, but it's cool stuff when you think about it in that perspective. And I don't want to get lost in that this week because there always is that chance that we're not talking about this next week. And I don't think that takes anything away from the run that we've had. It's frustrating. We've hit a wall and we got a little bit farther this year too, but this is the best era of Buffalo Bills football in the last 30 years by far. And having seen the contrast to that, the immediate contrast to that in the drought and mediocrity for 17 years, and still seeing what mediocrity looks like in the Buffalo Sabres just really helps me to appreciate that on a certain level as well. So
we can't give them any attention right now.
No Sabres update. Not even a Sabres update.
No negativity.
Yes.
It's funny. Yes.
So anyway, this is going to be a good episode. We're going to do some game picks. We're going to do Brando's bet, the much anticipated after going 2-0, which, means we're overdue for a letdown. Sorry.
Well, hey,
that's just how
whoa.
stats go. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. It's going to be good.
The law of averages.
We got some good stuff. I also have a bet from the Elite Picks app that looks pretty good. So Brandon and I got 2 separate things you can bet on this week and, take your pick. It's a nice little, degenerate gambler charcuterie tray, if you want to call it charcuterie. Don't hurt yourself, Brandon.
That's a tough word. Yeah.
It is. It's even tougher to spell. I promise. It's like hors d'oeuvres. Like I can't spell hors d'oeuvres to save my life. Hors d'oeuvres, something like that. But anyway, what do you guys want to do first? Do you want to get into some game picks? We also have some quotes with Pat, I hear, so we could do that as well. What do you guys want to do first? Do you want to do some game picks just quick?
Because the game picks.
We've got 2 games to pick. It's real simple. Brandon, you want to recap the standings?
Yeah. All right. We had an interesting week last week, I would say, for myself, going 3-0, getting the push with the Rams game. I closing the gap a little bit. I'm 1 game back of Pat, who went 2-1, and John with the 1-2 on the spreadsheet, but I think he's mathematically clinched his chance to win. So 60 wins with 3 games to play with me and Pat out of it officially. So we'll give you the, I'm putting my backups into the game. I'm taking the starters out.
See, okay, yeah. So we get a round of applause this year. Last year, I don't know, there was a lot of talk about are we getting a trophy that we can ship around? Where do I put my name on the plaque? That was the big discussion last year. Where's that this year?
Didn't I win it last year?
You did. I'm just saying
the year before that. So 0 for 2 on trophies.
Did you win it the year before that?
Year, yeah.
I don't know. Well, we've been doing it. I think we've done game picks.
I think we
No,
did.
we have. We have. I got to go check those spreadsheets. I thought I won the year before that. And then
I have 2. That's all I know.
You have 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have 2 rings.
We'll check the spreadsheets here.
Yeah, but yeah, you did win. Maybe we've done it 4 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, definitely 4 years because 21, 22, 23, 24.
I love to know our totals. Career.
Yeah, I guess.
They're definitely decent. They're definitely decent.
Yeah.
Anyways.
We'll get a trophy next year. We'll get around to it at some point. There's a lot of things we're going to get around to.
Slowly and steadily. Should get somebody to sponsor a trophy for us. That'd be cool.
That would be great. I'm down for that.
All right. Game 1. I like the way Jeremy and Joe described it this morning as this is the undercard of the main event of the Bills-Chiefs game. So the first warm-up game, we should say, Washington Commanders in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a 6-point favorite. This is interesting. NFC East battle to get to the Super Bowl again. And I'm taking the points. I don't know about you guys. I'm taking Jaden Daniels. This guy is something. And I picture this game going exactly the same way that the Bills-Eagles game went last year, where the mobility of the quarterback, the athleticism on both sides makes this a big time game. But close at the end. Maybe Washington doesn't win outright, but I think they covered the 6 points.
It's tough to think about this too, because this feels like Saquon versus Jaden Daniels, right? Because Jalen Hurts is not having the year that he's had in the past.
Correct.
If Jalen Hurts was playing on the level, also has a knee injury this week that he sustained in the Rams game. But if he was having the year that he was having, when they played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl last time, I wouldn't even give Washington a chance in this one. But yeah, no, this is the Saquon show versus can Jaden Daniels make enough plays to bring him home. Also, the Washington defense is probably going to have a lot to do with this if they can slow the Eagles offense down for sure.
That would be my thought. Jahmyr Gibbs did torch these boys. If Jared Goff doesn't throw 3 picks, we're talking about something different. The Eagles run the ball pretty well, so
you're not wrong.
I would take the Eagles win and cover. I don't know.
All right, Pat with the Philly win and cover. I'm going to go with Washington, but only by a hair here. And I kind of want to just this is just taking the points to protect from a crazy upset game because I picked against Washington last game and lost. And I'm pretty sure I picked against Washington in the wild card round and lost. So this might be the time that I pick for them and also lose. I'd be 0 for 3 on Washington picks up until this point.
You picked Washington over Tampa last time.
I did. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good for me.
Just once. You lost.
All right. Well, sponsor trophy. Here we go. Yeah, I'll take Washington on that. So.
All righty, boys. This is it. The game we've all been waiting for. The heavyweight fight. The prime time battle of legends in the making. Josh Allen v. Patrick Mahomes. Bills going to Arrowhead, as they usually do, as 1.5 point underdogs. Kansas City favored. And
Brando, but I heard from Andy Reid that the Chiefs will probably be underdogs in this game.
You know why they're going to be underdogs?
That was the stupidest soundbite I've ever heard.
The only reason that they are going to become underdogs is because all of the people are hammering the Bills as underdogs, putting money on the Bills. There's more public money on the Bills than there are on the Chiefs.
The Bills will be favorites by the time this game rolls around. There's too many people who are rooting for the Bills emotionally.
Yep.
Like,
and I want to say it's 55% of the bets right now are in on the Bills.
Yeah,
so
that doesn't surprise me.
I would see this line shift probably by the end of the week, but we're hammering it now while they get the points, and they are plus money on the money line. Now, there are 2 people here that are going to take the Bills, and one person who is quoted to never pick against the Chiefs ever again.
I won't. I'm taking the Chiefs. Taking them.
Bills to win, not to cover, Pat?
No. Chiefs outright.
Chiefs
outright. Chiefs outright.
All right. Well,
I'm
Pat picked against the Bills last week as well, so doing your part, buddy.
I got it.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bills here, right? Like, for sure. Give me the points.
Give me the Bills, baby. Give me the Bills, baby. Plus 1.5. You're giving me the Bills and points every time. Every time. I kind of want to talk about this Andy Reid clip too, because I had a flashback and I didn't remember this for a while because this is 2 years ago now. Do you guys remember leading up until the Cincinnati Bengals game where they were about to play in the divisional round? Obviously, the Bills get bounced this round. This is the DeMar Hamlin year. This is the ran out of gas year. All that stuff.
You better give the people their refunds, Joe Burrow. Frickin'.
The things that can motivate a team are blowing my mind, because that was super annoying that year, because it's kind of like a Michael Jordan thing where they take and gather this disrespect and they use it to fuel themselves, but there's really not that much real disrespect in the first place. They took offense to the Buffalo Bills organization selling hypothetical tickets for an AFC championship game that could have been hosted at Highmark had they won, right?
Yeah.
Again, just a hypothetical, because I'm pretty sure the Chiefs were the 1 seed that year. And so if the Bills had won, it would have been an Arrowhead anyway. So it would have been only if the Cleveland Browns had won.
Hold up. Wouldn't it have been at a neutral location, if I remember, because the Bills were 13-3?
We're talking about this being in Atlanta.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. We
bought tickets. We bought tickets for the game and got refunded, if you remember.
Yes.
That's right. Oh my God. That's such what a year that was. Oh my God. I forgot about this. But anyway, like, do you remember how annoying it was to see these clips of Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow saying, like, go ahead, sell your tickets, and be like genuinely offended by the fact that the team was doing something that every single team does.
Everybody does it.
Every single sports franchise does this in preparation. And they're like, we're going to take that and we're going to spin that into bulletin board material. And I'm not saying Andy Reid is doing that on purpose for the Chiefs, but like, that, like, I remember the Chiefs' reactions last year when they came into Buffalo, and when they won, they walked out of that stadium not saying good game or like, good job, Josh. It was, you wanted this. They're pointing at the crowd and saying, like, you wanted us here. Like, you got what you wished for, like, in your face, dude.
Yeah. And everybody, the Travis Kelce did a lot of that, and Patrick Mahomes did a lot of that. And we talked about this already once, and they are great sportsmen. They show the most
awesome
class
humans,
that you can have.
Very likable.
Whatever. Let's hope Pat rides with his dad to the game. Oh, all right. All right.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's a good one, Pat. I love that. Anyway, so Brando and I got Buffalo in that one. Pat, you're picking the Bills to win, not to cover, or Kansas City outright. No, either of those results are technically the same.
Yeah.
For that, so
I am super duper tempted to make the Bills money line, which is plus 110 right now. Brandon's bet of the week, but I do have something else.
Don't do it. Before we get to Brandon's bet, we haven't rolled the intro here in 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, do you have it?
Well, I don't have it on me, but I'm going to do this in editing. But I haven't had a place to intro it. Roll the intro.
Time for Brando's Bets.
Not financial advice. Please gamble responsibly.
All right, there you go. Now you're good.
All right. So I'm not going to pick the Bills money line, even though I think that would be a great bet. And it's not financial advice, as always. But this go around of this iteration of Bills v Chiefs, I looked back at all of the past games at Josh Allen carry numbers. How many carries does this man have during Bills Chiefs games? So in the playoffs, it's 12, 11, and 7. Those are his carries. And in the regular season, it's 12, 10, 12, 11, and 8. Line this week is 9.5 at minus 105 on DraftKings. And, he's cleared that 6 out of 8 times. He's come real close the 2 times that he didn't clear it, 1 carry and 2 carries away. And we have seen this Bills team just revolve around Josh Allen's legs, whether it's these pushes at the line, first down conversions, give me the 2nd and 1 tush push, 3rd and 1 tush push, 1st and goal, 3rd, whatever, at the goal line. We see him scramble out right. And he had this real good one last time where he had pump faked this little sidestep back and cuts back inside. And then we saw the historic touchdown run. I'm calling it history because it was just awesome. It was just awesome. One of the top plays of his career. So
yeah, I was going to say Hall of Fame highlight reel
induction. Yes. So I think he clears that 9.5 line. And I think if he clears that line, the Bills have a good chance of winning. The more that he carries the ball, the more we win the games most of the time. I think if you look at the carry stats correlated to wins, Josh Allen carries are a good thing for this football team. And, maybe we see a few more sweep plays. I think we saw 1 or 2 against the Ravens in the snow, but Josh Allen,
I was gonna say they didn't quite go shotgun quarterback sweep. They were running off tackle and stuff like that a lot. Whereas the quarterback sweep, I love that play when the center pulls. We've seen it. It was only in the Detroit game. I remember seeing it quite a bit, or maybe more than
big
once.
Guns, right?
Well, I feel like it's interesting too. A lot of tackles pulling outside runs. It'll be interesting. I don't know. I liked it. I liked some of that 22 personnel had Pat a little bit torqued with Reggie Gilliam in the game, doing some inside work.
Some lead blocking. Yeah. I love it.
That had me pretty hyped up, So I'm with you on this bet.
I think if you remember that 13 seconds game, those final few drives, how many times is Josh running it?
Every third down.
Every third down is a run. But again, right?
I was going to say, not even a designed run, but I mean, what is that 4th and 10 that they have that's insane that they wouldn't have even gotten the touchdown, and Josh runs and gets out of bounds, and that's just, he's outrunning Chris Jones out there and stuff like that. So I think you'll see a little bit of this. But Brando, one more thing I want to add to this too. You know what else counts as rush attempts, right?
Sacks.
Kneel downs. Victory
quarterback
formation.
Kneel downs. So when the Bills have the ball under 2 minutes and they're kneeling it down to head to the freaking Super Bowl for the first time in 30 years, knock on wood, those 1 to 2 to 3 kneel downs count as rushing attempts.
Okay, give me Josh Allen at 8 rush attempts into the final
heading
possession.
Into the final 2 minutes.
Give me 2 kneel downs to cash it. This bet.
That would be a sick cash.
Wood.
That would literally be the best cash.
All right, you heard it here first.
I love it. Usually they put, before they'd put Mitch Trubisky in for that, but I think they'd let Josh take his own kneel downs here
to go to the Super Bowl.
Right. So
I'm not looking at his yards. We don't need to worry about the loss of yardage on the kneel down when we don't touch the yards.
You don't want to worry about that. Yeah. You just want to get the attempts up there.
Correct.
One other thing I have. So Brandon and I sometimes agree on Brando's bets, and this is actually a little bit of a repeat play here. So I have the Elite Picks app open, which if you don't know what the Elite Picks app is, it uses machine learning models to predict props and stuff like that. It's really cool. I've been doing some work with them recently. And so anyway, it loves James Cook's over again for this week, which has hit in both of these last 2 playoff games. It's at 55.5 rushing yards right now. It's assigned an EP score of 97.26, which is really high. Obviously, that's out of 100. But again, obviously, this was our Brando's bet when he went for 120 against Denver. He's done this against Baltimore's defense, which was, I think, the number 1 or number 2 in EPA per play versus the rush. Obviously, Denver was that or even better, a 1 rank below that. And Kansas City's run defense has been struggling lately. So this could be a strength on not strength matchup here for the Bills. I think the way that the Bills have been playing these playoffs, James Cook is going to get his attempts in this game. I love James Cook over 55.5 rushing yards. He's not going to get one of those Saquon Barkley lines where the over-under is at 95.5 or Derrick Henry line or anything like that. So give me over 55 rushing yards for James Cook. He's done it twice in these playoffs, and I love the matchup here.
I like that a lot as well. I think all of the rushing attacks for this Bills offense are going to look good. Ray Davis, let's see. He came back healthy. It's nice to see him get that touchdown. Ty Johnson, man, the man is just efficient in every way that he can be.
These sports books aren't even putting out lines for Ty Johnson receiving anymore. They're too scared. They're too scared. Yeah. So I love it. Pat, did you actually decide on what kind of player jersey you would get for this?
It would be between Ty Johnson, Christian Benford, or Rasul Douglas.
Christian Benford would be a good one too.
Benford would be a good one. Yeah. I don't know. Because I feel like Johnson would be, you might, not to say, but there might be another, it's a common last name. There might be another Johnson on the team.
That's true.
But
I like to look at contract status as well for the value of the jersey. And Spencer Brown just signed a contract. Christian Benford needs a new contract. I don't know Ty Johnson's contract.
He's through next year, I believe.
Okay.
But definitely a shorter term contract than Spencer or.
Always looking at it. Right.
Always.
That's nice. Josh Allen, you can wear forever, like forever until you die.
Yep.
We're good forever. You don't need a new one. We're good. So,
right.
But
which is not the case if you had a Stephon Diggs jersey, a couple of years ago. That might
still
be.
Have mine. I think it's fine.
Do you boys know who you're gonna have as? Do you boys know if it happens? Knock on wood. Who your niche jersey pick would be? Have you decided? Because we're all gonna get niche jerseys if they win.
That's true. I feel like Ty Johnson is the best for that. I freaking love Ty Johnson and the plays that he makes. A nice little 26 jersey. I don't know. I was going to say like Andreessen's out there wearing the Pat Cap 40 or 44 jersey out there. So that'd be pretty sick. Obviously he hasn't played like meaningful snaps, but he's out there on special teams and stuff like that all the time. Yeah. I don't know.
It would just have to be someone that isn't mentioned regularly by an NFL. Connor McGovern would be a good one.
Connor McGovern.
Any lineman. Like that's where my first head goes.
Torrance, Alec Anderson playing big ups.
Dude, can you imagine if you had a jersey for the 6 offensive linemen? That's freaking commitment to your team.
Do they sell them? I'm going to look it up, Alex.
I'm so mad that Alec Anderson doesn't get as much love as like Dan Skipper from the Lions or anything like that. Yeah, everyone's off their whatever about Dan Skipper on the Lions, and no one ever mentions Alec Anderson.
Didn't Dan Skipper catch a touchdown in the Bills game too, if I remember?
I don't remember if he did.
That would have been on Thanksgiving. Alec Anderson jersey, $170 on NFL Shop.
There you go. What's the comparable? So like, what does Josh Allen's jersey for? Same thing. I was gonna say it's the same price no matter what the jersey is. We're not going used market here. Yeah. But I love
That's
it.
a good question.
I don't know. Terrell Bernard isn't enough of a deep cut, but it
is enough.
It is. Yeah, he'd be a great one. I love watching Terrell Bernard play. Like he's awesome.
Terrell Bernard too. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like TV or Dorian. You can't go wrong with either of those.
Dorian would be a sick jersey. I also feel like the Taron Johnson 7 jersey is pretty sick too.
Dude, I feel like that is an amazing pick because you're right. You would have to be a true Bills fan to be like, yo, this man's a legend in the playoffs. And then also like, I mean, you don't see a lot of people with the 7, and he's like the really other than James Cook, he's the only single digit, Bills jersey really you can get other than Keon. And like, I feel like the 0
Curtis Samuel.
I guess Kurt, number 1.
There are a decent amount of Doug Flutie jerseys at the stadium week to week.
That's
from
true.
what I've seen.
That's a good jersey. Like that's a good deep cut jersey for sure. But that's such a good question. Like the deep cut jersey.
You should tweet it out and see what the people have to say.
That's a good poll.
I should. Another good question is what our matching tattoos are going to look like for the Super Bowl too, because
I want the red standing.
You want the throwback,
just
buffalo,
the standing red buffalo.
Standing red buffalo. Yeah. See, I don't even know what I don't even know what I would get yet. This is somebody with no tattoos so far. So do any of us have it? No. I was gonna say all of us are tattoo virgins. So
tattoo virgin, and I mean Brandon has the ears pierced, and I just have one.
Hey, that died with me in 8th and 12th grade. No, actually, they're not there anymore. They're closed.
I just forgot to take my other one out. I have one boy band ear piercing in right now. If you guys can see. So
there you go. No tattoo. I never took that trend, but they would have pried those right out of my ears at Belmont University for sure. So
mine almost got pried out of my ears when I went home.
Right. Right.
But
that's funny. All right, so Pat, you got some quotes dialed up for us, man?
I do.
Some championship week quotes. I feel like it's Wednesday already, but this really hasn't hit me yet.
It hasn't hit me yet. Great song by Blue Rodeo, all you Canadian listeners. All you Canadians that are listening, much love. Let's see here.
It's time for Quotes with Pat. They're things that people said.
If you look at any long run throughout the season, you'll see multiple guys making big plays.
Sean McDermott.
It sounds like a McDermott quote, you would think.
It sounds like a Lions coach, Dan Campbell.
I would have to
I was
put
gonna say Dan Quinn for a second, but yeah, Dan Campbell is my guess.
I would have to put an asterisk in quotations that said through tears if it was Dan Campbell. Sorry. Sorry. I don't, football gods don't. He cries after wins too.
That's true.
No.
Do you see the camera when they were showing him on TV as the game was getting out of hand, and he just looks devastated? I felt so bad.
I feel so bad for that guy.
I feel bad for him too, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm a crier. I get it for sure.
I wanted those Lions to win too. I wanted the Bills Lions Super Bowl matchup.
I am so glad that's off the table, man. I don't even care.
Really? Because you didn't want to watch. You didn't want to watch the Lions lose one.
I didn't want to play the Lions in the Super Bowl for any purposes of somebody's losing.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
So this person is someone who had a long run this past weekend.
Okay,
Saquon. That is Saquon Barkley. He's a very humble guy. You know, I'm a fan.
I like.
Did you see the video clip of him talking about his move to Philadelphia? And he said he has a 6-year-old daughter, and her first question to him was, "Daddy, does this mean we're going to win more?" And he's like, "Hopefully,
she gets it."
Yeah.
Knows ball.
I thought that was funny.
Knows ball. She does, honestly.
Well, here's the thing. That's not a Philadelphia specific thing. I think that's whenever you're moving out of the New York metropolitan area, no matter what city you go to play football in, I don't care if it's XFL, CFL, AFL, XFL, whatever you want. Like, you're going to win more than you did in New York, I promise.
Yeah. That's Miracle in the Meadowlands V3 when you think about it. You know, the first two are the Eagles just on the Giants at the end of games, and this is you know, the Eagles on the Giants at the end of the season. So really, you know, volume 3.
Right.
Here we go. You can't be great without the greatness of others.
Interesting.
Dan Campbell's T-shirt after the.
No, this is a quote from someone that's not a player.
Not a player.
Handsome guy.
Is this a media pundit or a coach? Coach. All right.
Ken Dorsey. Not Ken Dorsey. Joe Brady. I'm sorry. I don't know why I was thinking of Ken Dorsey.
No, I mean, you would think that is like paraphrasing that everyone, that is paraphrasing that everybody eats mantra, you would think. But no, Ken Dorsey would be like, fuck my life, I just broke an iPad would be his quote.
And I just got fired again. Twice in 1 year.
Twice in 1 year.
Right. I'm going to guess Ben Johnson?
Close. He's actually he's a local guy.
Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni.
Correct.
Nice.
When you think about it, Jamestown, New York has potentially a coach that's coaching in the Super Bowl and the commissioner of the entire league as notable residents. That's pretty hype.
That's insane to me.
And Lucille Ball. Don't forget.
And Lucille Ball.
Right.
True. So, I mean, if you boys were thinking about, you know, God forbid the Bills win against the Eagles, everyone is going to run with the NFL is scripted so hard. If that is the case, they're going to, you know, but.
That's really interesting. His mom is from Buffalo. Dad was a senator from New York. And he was born in Jamestown. Yeah.
Roger Goodell, you mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
Affectionately called the Dirty J by people that live there. I swear to God, I have a couple friends from Jamestown, and that's what they call it, the Dirty J.
That's funny.
So I got one more for you here. Man, I'm not even thinking about that. It would obviously be a blessing, but I'm focused on how I can be better day by day.
I don't know. It sounds like Amari Cooper speak, but
it does. It's from someone who definitely is a very distinguished speaker. So on the player front,
Dion.
You would think Dion would have a little bit more, pizzazz. I feel like.
Yeah, that's true.
The adjective choice would be better, but nope. So this is someone he is getting better day by day. He got better with every different college team that he played with.
Ray Davis.
That's an amazing guess.
Based on the information provided. Let's see. Who played for a lot of college teams? Is this a Buffalo Bill?
Nope.
No. Okay. I was like, I thought we were on the right track there. who played for a bunch of college teams.
Well, two college teams, two ranked college teams. When he was playing a certain high-profile position for these teams, both were ranked.
All right,
during his times there.
So this is a quarterback. Are we going to go with a remaining quarterback?
Yes.
Let's see. Jalen Hurts played for Alabama. Did he play for anybody before that?
Well, he played for Oklahoma State, pardon.
Oh,
so
okay.
he played for two. It's not Jalen Hurts, though.
It's
That's
not
Jalen
Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, Arizona State and LSU. So that's what made me.
Nice. So that's what I figured. Jaden Daniels.
That's what I figured all four. Wait, who are we playing? No, not Pat. 3 of the 4 quarterbacks transferred 1 or more times, which is interesting.
That is interesting.
That are remaining. So
yeah.
Those are
and
the
Josh went from junior college to Wyoming, if you want to count that too. So
it is. It's a transfer. I work in higher ed. There's some paperwork. I'm sure
there's paperwork involved in the move Josh Allen made, right?
This paperwork, a degree audit had to be printed. I'm sure of it.
Pat Caprio has entered the transfer portal.
That's what yes, for real. I'm going to tell you about your FAFSA eligibility.
Right.
You don't qualify because of
you're making $200
NIL. Yeah. You're actually going to pay for everyone else at the university to go to school.
That's funny. All right, so I want to ask you guys one more question before we hop off of here, because I was thinking about this today. Are the Chiefs the most annoying team in the NFL? And then there's a part 2 to this. But can you think of any team that's more annoying than the Chiefs?
No, I mean prime Patriots fans for sure, but the Chiefs right now.
Yeah,
I mean at least like Tom, I feel like you love to hate him. Like, like he had that aura about him, kind of like if you guys are Chappelle Show fans, like Rick James, they talk about in the Charlie Murphy skits, like Rick was so hateable, but like he had that aura about him that you couldn't help but at least love to hate him. But like Patrick Mahomes, I really just feel like is an NPC. Like, I don't know. It's just, he's not even, I don't even like him enough to hate him or hate him enough to like him. Like he's just blah.
Yeah. I think that's accurate. That's accurate. But the part 2 of my question is like, are they the most annoying fan base in the NFL?
No, because they've suffered long enough. I feel like
probably not yet.
Right. I agree with both of those. Like not the most annoying fan base, but definitely the most annoying team at this point to like, definitely not the most annoying fan base. I don't even know who I would put that label on necessarily.
I don't know, man. We get a lot of Chiefs hate in our comments on a regular basis.
That's true, but it's usually just because of the Bills-Chiefs rivalry. I mean, like, like Ravens fans were chirping quite a bit before this last matchup. And to be fair, maybe it's just because our videos aren't getting that many views, but I haven't seen too many like aggressive, like threat like takes like we did the week before, which was a little bit different. But
credit to the people, because there are a few of them that have gone back after we win that game and said something back to them. Be like, what's up, buddy? 25-27, whatever.
And most of them have been like, good game, whatever, good game and stuff like that. Go beat the Chiefs, which I think we have that in common. Like this was a tense week to build up to that, but it's like somebody go beat the Chiefs, right?
And I mean, in honesty, I was telling Elizabeth this too, and maybe this is me just being hasty, but if they win this one, I don't care if they never beat them again in the playoffs or the regular season. Honestly, if they win this one and everything falls into place, if the Bills win 2 in a row, which if they lose, then I'll put my foot in my mouth. But if that were the case, and then Josh Allen from that point was 0 for 17 against Patrick Mahomes, I'd be like, you can have it. We had ours.
We got one.
We got it.
I want our turn, man. I want our turn at the top of the mountain, and I want it to be more than a season. Call me greedy. I want to run this. They're a dynasty, but we
think about this. Like, if you win one game, you got the entire offseason. Yeah. Like, that's long enough. I mean, the offseason feels long enough as it is. Just to have that one offseason of being like, at least you have like the really easy low blow reply to every single comment, right? Yeah. That all the Chiefs fans have. It's like, beat us in the playoffs.
And even Jets fans can say, we got one. Or like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like the city of Cincinnati will be like,
Jets, remember when
the Reds won the World Series in 1990 or whatever?
Jets fans are really going out on a limb to, when they won a Super Bowl
back
in the 1930s
with Joe Namath.
who's had 3 different sets of teeth since then. I feel like that's past the statute of limitations.
Three different. What is the word?
Fur coats.
Well, definitely 3 different fur coats, 3 different fermented livers, but yeah.
Fermented keyword there. But Brandon, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you short there.
No, you're good. You're good. You're right though. It is a long off season, but think about when Brady gets a nice little break for him to win 2 right off the bat and to get the 3rd one in the 4th season. So Manning is playing catch up is his entire career.
Right.
And, he does close the gap a bit there when Brady goes on his lull before, what Brady Manning gets.
That lull was 10 years long.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the crazy thing about the Patriots dynasty is they went 10 years without winning one.
Yeah.
But I mean, Tom had what? Tom had 4 before Peyton got a second. So
yeah. Well, and then they went to 13 title games and won 9 of them, right? So,
right.
Yeah.
But Manning was always trying to claw back, and the way that he got in the conversation with these outstanding regular seasons, he did get a couple. But I would like to let's stop the gap here before if we want to keep this Manning Brady similarities here, because Allen I think makes this closer, but Pat's Super Bowls make it way farther. I feel like these games here, it's time for Allen to close the gap, and let's start our little run here. Because Allen is young enough in these next 5 years to trade a couple here and there.
Of course it could change. Yeah, I want to say my focus was a little bit more on that last year, because last year was still okay, they beat you 2 times in the playoffs, but you get one back here. You get one back and you're only one back of the all-time record against each other in the head-to-head in the playoffs. And the Chiefs only had 2 Super Bowl wins at that point. So if you go win in Super Bowl, you're only down 1. Now the score is at 3-0, right?
Yeah,
and it's also the 3-0 playoff record. And I'm less concerned about trying, because of course, when Josh Allen comes to the Bills, you're I want him to be the best quarterback of this era. I want them to do better than the Chiefs. I want them to have more Super Bowl than the Chiefs. But it's really gotten to the point at this point, after the few divisional round exits, that it's just I've really reverted to what most people say, which is just one before I die. Just one before I die.
It's definitely, man. Do you think someone's sitting here and they're oh my God, Joe Montana is that much better than John Elway because John only won 2 and Joe won 4? Or, I don't know.
I think people think Joe is better than Elway because of how I just other reasons, right? Not the Super Bowl reasons, right?
Or if you said Drew Brees is dog shit because he only won 1 Super Bowl,
or Dan Marino, who got there once, didn't win, and then never got back. So it's you can never take it for granted. No. And I want to zoom out and have that big picture, and I want Josh to be better than Mahomes in history's hindsight. But that's just, I can't even think about that right now because
to go back to your Marlins, Russ Brandon, that 2003 Marlins team.
97, they won it.
Yeah, they won it in 97 and 03. 97, you have a Game 7 walk-off, Levon Hernandez. I don't know why I know that, but I do. But I guess what I was getting at is that Marlins team in 03, right? They win their 2nd World Series. They had been to the World Series twice in 7 years and also only made the playoffs twice in 7 years. So it's you know what I mean? I wouldn't care if, you have a lull or you're someone's oh, the Bills. Even if we did something like the Broncos where we win the Super Bowl and then we don't make the playoffs for 9 years. I wouldn't care.
Like the Rams have been the past few years, right? Sell everything to make it, and obviously the structures are built different.
Now that's a good point that you just brought up, John, because I'm on this boat, I think, where we have not really done that. We have not sold our picks.
Our future looks brighter than our present. Right?
Yes,
theoretically.
My brain here says let's do that now. All right, if we can get it this year, and then you're gonna go all in with our salary cap space for the next 2 to 3 years, and you have a big chance here to get more than one. That's my thing, man. Go be the Rams after this year, because you set yourself up to be able to do that, and you have this good young talent where the Rams had 1 bad season, and now they got a rebuilt defensive line, a strong quarterback with great weapons around them. They hit on a couple of their later round draft picks, and boom, you're right back in it, and you got a Super Bowl. I would like to see Brandon Beane. And he's had his handcuffs his hands cuffed the last couple off seasons with the money situation. But since Von, let's see the next one. I'm ready for the next one, big one. I want to arms race this AFC out the boat, man. This is a tough league. This division is we're lucky to be in our division that we are in. I'm happy to be here because we can own these teams. But the AFC as a whole is way harder than the NFC at the moment. And
it is.
These teams that you're going to be playing against are really good.
It's just it's really crazy that the top 4 quarterbacks of maybe our generation are all peaking at the same time in the same conference. In the same conference.
At least they play. I guess Joe and Lamar are playing in the same conferences, but at least they're like division. Spread out or same division. Yeah, pardon. But like at least they're spread out between. I don't know.
Right.
That is
which
crazy,
is the same way with the Colts and the Patriots too.
Same way with the Commanders and the Eagles. Maybe.
Yeah. That could definitely be the case in the AFC the NFC next coming years and stuff like that too. But man, I don't know. Myles Garrett watch 2026.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. It's all exciting. I want to see this. We're lucky to have Josh Allen in front of us, and how you build around him. You only get to do it once. You only get this guy for X amount of time, and we got to take advantage of it and enjoy every minute. So I am excited about the direction of this team, and even what this year has meant for these players moving forward. You got a lot of young players taking big steps, and even these playoff reps. So everybody's getting better week to week, and how much better are they going to be getting because of the way the season played this year? Because of people being put into roles that they might not have normally been put into. And then add that internal growth with that, like a lot of money to spend and good draft capital. So we're in a good spot. And I am never going to sit here and say that we are the second fiddle organization of the Chiefs, but I have to be because they have 3 Super Bowls. So just give us a leg to stand on here, Buffalo. Like, come on, Josh, do it.
Yeah. Well, and you got to think like a lot of those moves are going to be a little bit easier to Chris Jones, Pat Mahomes. How many times have they restructured their contracts? You know what I mean?
Right.
To get other players in there, like, I don't know, even like, and I'm not saying Kareem Hunt is, I say this now, but he could be the reason that we lose next week. And then but like, how convenient is it for, you as an organization to be able to call up someone like that and have them come out of retirement and put their body back on the line for you? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just like there's 31 other teams that could call him and he would say no. So like, right. it is good to know, like we've said for years and years and years, that you would be able to have that pull, whether it be free agents or, trades, draft picks.
That's the reason Von Miller's here, is because of Josh Allen. Almost didn't get him compared to some of the other front runners in that trade. And also this is kind of like what you said, Pat, but not exactly, but not that these are as big a difference makers maybe, but a guy like Jordan Phillips who plays his best football in Buffalo and hasn't really found a sticking point anywhere else. It's like you just get that familiarity over the years with some of these guys that float around and find a landing spot, because the Bills really are the best destination for a lot of players. Like, you're going to be the best version of yourself in Buffalo. And that's more than just a mantra that you can stick on the side of a stadium and, you see it working. That's a huge differentiator right now between the Bills and the Sabres. The Sabres might stick a logo like that on the side of an arena and it doesn't mean crap, because that's not actually what the case has been. And I really hope that, to circle this back to this week and not get too big picture on you guys, like, I really want to be doing this again with high spirits next week and for the next 2 weeks, because
a lot of time. Yeah.
This might be the first time that 2 weeks does not go by super slow waiting for the Super Bowl. I mean, it will be, but it'll be a really fun 2 weeks if that's the case. And I can't wait to have those conversations with you guys. And we've really only put in like these tiny hypotheticals into this, but it becomes like really real starting next week if they get a win here. So they're 1 win away. They've been in this place one other time, and then it kind of felt like a fever dream. We hadn't started the podcast yet. We started the podcast after that. So
fever dream is a good way to describe that game. I think even McDermott was at a fever dream.
Right. But all right. Well, as always, thank you to our sponsor, Small City Realty. You can contact Zach Korzelius at 585-409-1088 if you're looking to buy, sell, or manage property in Western New York. Shout out to Homage. They hooked us up with some gear that we'll hopefully have on next week's episode. We have an affiliate link in the show notes. or in the comments of this video if I clip this for a reel or something like that, or the link in our bio. Again, really cool vintage NFL gear. If you want to check it out, check out that affiliate link. It's awesome. These hoodies are literally the best. They're the most durable and softest hoodie I've ever had, and it's stood the test of time for the last 2 years. So again, as always, good talking to you guys. This might be our last episode of the week, I'm thinking, but hopefully again next week.
Go Bills.
Go
Bills.
We're celebrating an AFC championship win.
Bills money line, baby. Let's go Buffalo.
I need it so bad. I really do. But all right. We'll see you guys next week. Go Bills.
Go Bills.